Namaste. So there is rising a message from these very deep feminine lands. There's been rising a message around the masculine energy. It's time for us to look into another direction of the sacred masculine or the divine masculine. There's something we're not seeing, and there's something we need to invite the return of with the sacred masculine. Oh, beloved lingam, hey, hey. Yeah, it's rising, and some I've seen some people, other people are feeling that desire from the feminine, actually, desire from existence, really, for something of the masculine to be seen or healed, perhaps invited back. And I want to tell you a bit about that. But before I do, I also want to tell you why I want to tell you about it, so you can have a sense of where this journey is going. Yeah, so in the invitation, I spoke about the Mahamudra. Mahamudra. I don't even really want to translate it. You can just feel it, the Mahamudra. So we're going to be going deeper into looking at the Mahamudra. What is that? And how is it connected to sacred sexuality? It's so funny as we peer over into that direction of the Mahamudra, it's like wrapped and wrapped and wrapped and wrapped in mystery. Can you see when you look that way? It gives some hints, a little bit of hints in the shape of it. It gives some hints, but it's so wrapped in mystery. It's so deeply protected, actually. So the Mahamudra I'm speaking of is the essential notion, essence. It's the essence, the nectar essence we seek. Can you see what trouble I'm having to put this into words? So I can tell you I'm seeing something, I'm feeling something that I'm trying to describe to you, but it's so deep in the energy that I'm really struggling to find the words. And I also want to protect it. I want to protect it from you understanding it too quickly. Because if you understand it too quickly, you're going to miss it. Because it's not an understanding. And you can understand, I could tell you it in a few words, and you could understand it really easily. But that's never where you're going to find it. You have to find it in the living, in the body, in the meeting, that mudra, the position the body takes, the great position the body takes when it turns into awakening. Or it's the awakened state itself. It's like they're really close together. It's that place where there is no separation between Shiva and Shakti. There is no separation between Shiva and Shakti. That mudra, what does that look like? And there's some images in the kind of Hindu Indian cosmology, of Shiva and Shakti together. You have images of it. But what does it actually, what is its position? How do you find that shape that is shapeless in your body? That shape that is shapeless in your body. of that meeting of Shiva and Shakti. To find the shape that is shapeless. That is you could call it the koan of this journey into the Dakini Pure Lands. A koan is a question that the mind cannot answer. So your question from me to you is, what is the shape of Shiva and Shakti who have moved beyond duality into this togetherness? What is that shape, which is shapeless? So the Dakinis have called us to look at this arising of energy as the essence of your awakening. Ooh, nice. And on the way there, because it's so deeply about the masculine energy and the feminine energy. You know, this is really two very essential aspects of this mudra, of this Mahamudra, is the feminine and the masculine. So if we want to turn into that knowing, into that deep lived knowing, then we need to start to ask some questions about the masculine and feminine. And right now, I want to turn our attention to the masculine, because there has been a movement just recently, a recent wave in existence, that's saying it's time. We've done quite a lot of work now. A lot of us have done a lot of work with the feminine. Not to say we're going to stop, no way. We're like way too in love, totally smitten with the goddess, you know. No way, we're not going to do that work, that holy work of awakening the divine feminine within us. Yeah. So we continue, and we will be talking about that here too. But she's saying, hey, but, you know, now what about the masculine? Perhaps he needs our presence and our looking, our deep seeing, a deep looking into his current, a deep looking into what his patterns of negating his being are. You know, the masculine. We look so much at the wounding of the feminine, of the denial of the feminine, of the destruction of the feminine. We've been looking. Can you feel how much we've moved through, how much matter, how much material of that, of the feminine story we've been moving through? Many of us have, and you can feel the difference. Even women who haven't worked with it directly are being affected by the seeings of other women. It's moving through us all. And then we're looking around and looking at the men, and they're here, you know, they're here, they're with us. And yet, maybe it's really time for a bunch of us to turn into the looking of the masculine. What is he struggling with? You know, what does he need to see? What does he need to let go of? What evolution wants to rise in his being? And I can suggest some looking, and I will in a moment, where that is for the masculine. But really, it is going to be a journey together that we need to go on. So, can you feel as well that where I'm looking here, where I'm asking you to look into, it's a new looking. Can you feel I'm really walking on a path right now? We're walking on a path right now that is very, very uncharted. It's like, yo, this is not like being walked on by a lot of people. And it's like really like, where did I put my foot now? And that kind of learning can always be quite scary, even terrifying for some. So just remember that if you turn towards it, it might not be the easiest piece of learning that we have come to walking in the Dharma together. So when I look at the masculine, when I look into that, I go, okay, what's needed here? Because I have been noticing, in my walking with tantra and sexuality, that there is a fair degree of wounding amongst men and amongst the masculine. The masculine has particular wounds which are more that when the masculine is wounded, it reveals more in men. When the feminine is wounded, it reveals more in women. Of course, we'll both share, but that's just how it lands. Okay, so you can see the masculine wounding more in a man than you would see that in yourself. And there's more to that, but we won't go into it quite yet. So when I try and find what is the central wound in men or in the masculine, what is that wound about? What is that? And I'm looking, What I'm starting to see is that many men, when men carry the masculine wound, not all men will carry it, but when they do, we start to notice the broken heart. We start to notice that the wounded masculine is very afraid to give his love. He's very afraid to really engage into the lila, into the play of love, the wounded masculine. And this is more common in men than we care to admit, because a lot of men can be in relationship and even seem quite loving and everything, and still be carrying a very deeply wounded heart. So they can get on with it, they can function, and they can even feel love in this, but there's something in them that stops. And it gets revealed in sex. How men make love will reveal very much where their heart is. It reveals very much if they're able to make love or if they can just have sex. Not just, but it's like there's sex, which is like you can be skillful at sex and the physicality and so forth. But not everyone can open their heart while making love. And to the degree that a man can come with his heart and his vulnerability into lovemaking is very, very revealing to the degree that his heart is broken. And how many men can truly be vulnerable in lovemaking, So, the question to the masculine, and here it is a question to the woman as well, if you find that masculine in you, is the question is into the broken heart. Really, now back to men. Most men don't know they carry a broken heart day to day. They don't realize it, that the heart is broken. So look, is there some brokenness? Is there some deep hurt in the heart that stops your love? That stops your giving? The masculine gives his love into the world, and therein he finds his bliss. You see? The bliss of the masculine is to give his love freely, how it wants to flow into the Dharma, not the forced way by someone going, if you love me, you will buy me flowers, or something. With an upset, not with a forcedness on it, where that giving is the giving of his love in freedom and according to the true arising in front of him. When that is happening, this is like such a delight for the masculine. It's such a delight for the masculine. But so few men on earth are in that true giving of their overflowing masculine sexual love energy. So few. Which tells you what? Which tells me what? It says that the hearts of men are broken for some reason. So I'm just inviting you to have a look at that in yourself, whether you are a man or a woman, and in the men that you know in your life. To which degree you feel this in them, and to which degree you feel it in yourself. And the tremendous protection of it. Even as I invite you to look there, you're going to feel such a fierce protection. Such a fierce protection. Yeah. And then, of course, the next question is, well, what do we do about it? How do we fix it? What should we do? That's the question, right? And, well, that's the work. That's the holy work. But the first step is to become aware of it. So that when you're in a circumstance, and maybe you're in a lover circumstance, and the woman is inviting you to her, and all, the impulse is really not to open, not to turn to her, not, it's to resist her, then you can go, oh, wait a minute, one moment. Oh, perhaps this is my broken heart saying no. So that's the first step. That's the first how. Just to have a look and to notice. That's what I invite you to do. In yourself as woman or man. Does my masculine have a broken heart? And in the men you are relating to, because it will be in the men you will see it more clearly. This is more less, you could say, of men. Yeah. So just have a look. See what you see. See what's there. Ask the question. The broken heart, what it really means is that one, or you or me, is in a habitual pattern which is unconscious of resisting the flow of love. That's what a broken heart means. My love wants to flow, but I don't allow it. Yeah, that in the true nature of the heart, it could never break. Not like that. But we can have that pattern which is stopping the flow of love, which is essentially stopping your bliss as a man. And as a woman, when you are more in touch with your masculine, it will stop it too. Yeah. Because it feels like in this conversation we're standing a little on the edge of evolution, on the edge of learning in this arising. It may take a little bit for you to receive this. It's taken a little bit for me to give it to you. So just spend some moments with it. And there will be a part 2 where we'll look a little bit at the practice of giving love. Yeah. But I want you to first just chew what I've said now and see how it lands, because I think it's quite a lot I've said. I think it's quite profound, if you really go with it. But you got this one. Come along with me. Let's see where it lands. So I can feel the deep feminine, the Dakini Pure Lands. That feminine wants this. She desires this inquiry now. Can you feel it? I want you to see what you can feel. If you just take my word for things, it's not that helpful. I would like you to practice feeling what I say. Feel it. Is she in the alignment of truth? But not with the critical mind, with your feeling. Can you follow me in feeling? I'd prefer you follow me in feeling than in thought. Yeah. I'm laughing at my head thing. My inner child wanted that on. Yeah. I do that, It helps when there's like I'm entering the mystery and I feel a bit of fear. It's normally the younger self, and then you do something fun, you make it more fun. You're doing this kind of thing, and then suddenly you find the courage for it. Yeah. Okay. Namaste.